Chapter 16. Step by step, we reach the top. Kaifeng, Inner City, East Street. This is the legendary Donghua Gate. Zhang Cheng was standing here at that moment, his eyes full of mockery. Han Qi is a divine being. The phrase, "Only those who announce their names outside Donghua Gate are true men," dragged the Northern Song dynasty into an abyss. Even with capable generals who later helped to revive the dynasty, it was all in vain. Emperor Taizu of Song's accession to the throne was illegitimate to begin with, and he further suppressed the power of military commanders by using the banquet to release military power method, leading to the weakening of military preparedness in the late stage. Zhao Guangyi was even more brave, managing to turn a seemingly hopeless situation into a high-stakes game, earning him the title of God of Chariot Driving in the Northern Song dynasty. Even at the very end, he employed a subtle maneuver, requiring all generals leading troops in the field to command operations according to his plan. This ingenious line of thinking is exactly what a future school principal would think. Bald man, I'm truly impressed. What are you laughing at? Looking at Zhang Cheng with confusion, Zhang Dingding looked at this big brother with some curiosity. I suddenly thought of some sad things. As he spoke, a smile involuntarily crept onto Zhang Cheng's lips, because the prosperity and golden age of another name for Bianliang was protected by the blood of those warriors whom Han Qi despised. Was the Song dynasty really capable of fighting? Of course it was. However, it is due to various systems that this originally fierce and brave people have gradually turned into sheep. A century later, when Wanyan Jiumei was being chased by the Jin army, Dao never imagined that the people he led could actually fight against 5 barbarian tribes in the Han dynasty, and could destroy a country as easily as drinking water in the Tang dynasty. Unfortunately, Wanyan Jiumei's courage was broken. And it was precisely because of a sheep leading a pride of lions that the Northern Song dynasty became what it is today. Call! Thick fog filled his mouth. Zhang Cheng couldn't help but look at the distant radiant light. This place is truly beautiful. Of course, this is Kaifeng, the capital of the great Song dynasty. Approaching Zhang Cheng, Zhang Dingding spoke proudly. Looking at Zhang Dingding beside him, Zhang Cheng really wanted to say that even on a global scale, Kaifeng is now another name for Bianliang. Also a unique and dazzling name in the world. Younger male cousin, I've made up my mind. I will climb step by step to the top. I want to be the prince consort. Looking intently at Situ Yaozu, Zhang Cheng couldn't help but become serious. He didn't want to come into this world in the first place. But now he seems to have no other choice. To recapture the 16 prefectures of Yan and Yun, one must control the military. But as the son-in-law of the emperor, Zhang Cheng is incapable of doing so. The only way is to place our hopes on Situ Yaozu by our side. He entered the royal family and used his financial power to recruit allies. No colleagues, and thus achieved great things. If the plan goes smoothly, he will see hope in 10 years. If the plan does not go smoothly, he will still be able to be crowned emperor in 15 years. Emperor Renzong of Song. Am I looking for a son-in-law? Not a traitor. Zhang Cheng. A son-in-law is like half a son. What's yours is mine, isn't it? Sima Yaozu. My cousin's words make so much sense. Beside the Bian River, the lantern's light rippled in the water. Looking at this scene, Zhang Cheng, with one hand behind his back, stepped forward and exclaimed, "Holy crap, that's beautiful. No, you're just going to do this?" Staring at Zhang Cheng in shock, Zhang Dingding's eyes widened in bewilderment. He felt the atmosphere was right and Zhang Cheng would definitely recite a poem or two. But instead he said, "Holy crap, do I look like someone who can recite poetry?" Turning to look at Zhang Dingding, Zhang Cheng, a cigarette between his fingers, asked. With a twitching mouth, Zhang Dingding looked at Zhang Cheng and remained silent for a long time before saying, "It doesn't seem like it." That settles it. Looking at Zhang Dingding with disdain, Zhang Cheng walked straight into the distance and said, "Let's go, brothel. Let's listen to some music." In front of a brothel, women half-veiled in light gauze were calling out from upstairs. Seeing this, Situ Yaozu blushed slightly and said, "Cousin, isn't this a bit inappropriate?" "Hey, younger male cousin, you're being so vulgar. Look at these girls. They're willing to use their beauty to entertain others in order to earn money to support their families. If you don't go and I don't go, how will they support their seriously ill parents and their younger brothers who can't afford to go to school?" Patting Situ Yaozu on the shoulder, Zhang Cheng stared at him intently. "Cousin, I admire nothing else but your ability to lie through your teeth and still manage to make empty promises to me." Speechless, Situ Yaozu stared at Zhang Cheng, completely stunned. Wow, that's impressive, bro. Where did you learn that from? As Zhang Dingding moved closer to Zhang Cheng, a smile involuntarily appeared on her face. Read less, sleep less, shop more at brothel, and get more freebies. After glancing at Zhang Dingding, Zhang Cheng took the lead and walked in. You can learn all this just by browsing brothel? Looking at Zhang Cheng with confusion, Zhang Dingding turned her head and asked, Your cousin speaks so fluently. Did he pass the exam for a top scholar? Oh, he was once a beggar. Upon hearing Zhang Dingding's words, Situ Yaozu couldn't help but complain. What? You've even been a beggar? That's so exciting. Looking at Zhang Cheng with amazement, Zhang Dingding's admiration grew even stronger. Oh my, gentlemen, is this your first time back? With a beaming smile, the madam couldn't help but wave her handkerchief as she approached. I, young master, want all the girls who come after me. Approaching the madam, Zhang Cheng made a fist gesture resembling that of a leopard's head. What? You want it all? Young master, you probably can't handle it. Staring at Zhang Cheng in astonishment, the madam was dumbfounded for a moment. That's none of your business to worry about. Looking calmly at the madam, Zhang Cheng proudly declared, The people of my Zhang family are capable and fierce. Looking blankly at Zhang Dingding, Situ Yaozu was taken aback. Because he just couldn't see how fierce Zhang Dingding's physique was. Why are you looking at me like that? It's not like I want it all. Seeing Situ Yaozu's gaze, Zhang Dingding immediately took a half-step back, because he didn't expect this guy to be so bold. He booked an entire brothel with at least 20 girls. Cousin. Upon reaching Zhang Cheng, Situ Yaozu couldn't help but want to stop him. But the next second, Zhang Cheng raised his hand to stop Dao. Stop talking, younger male cousin. Leave this to me. However, looking at Zhang Cheng, Situ Yaozu was speechless. Cousin, what I'm trying to say is, if you take them all, what am I supposed to do? Oh, really? I forgot. I'll give you one. Just one, no more. With that, Zhang Cheng pulled out a stack of silver notes. Come on, everyone. Sir. She descended the stairs like a butterfly, and many women immediately called out to her. Hey! The silver note in your cousin's hand looks so much like the one in my pocket. Fumbling in her pockets, Zhang Dingding discovered that her banknotes were missing. Just as Zhang Dingding finished speaking, Situ Yaozu's lips twitched. Have you ever considered that Zhang young master might very well be you? What? Zhang Dingding stared in shock, her mouth agape, utterly bewildered, because he didn't expect that Zhang Cheng's so-called treat was actually him paying for the meal himself. In the lively room, Zhang Cheng raised his wine glass and asked, By the way, where's Feng Suzhen? I didn't see her when I came out. Feng Suzhen? She went to take the exam for a top scholar. Looking at Zhang Cheng curiously, Situ Yaozu explained, Didn't I tell you? Puff! Zhang Cheng spat out a mouthful of wine and exclaimed in disbelief. She went to take the exam for a top scholar? Yes, she went there after seeing the imperial edict that day. I don't know if Dao passed the exam. Rubbing her head, Situ Yaozu turned to Dao. Cousin, she didn't really get in, did she? Guess. Thinking of Feng Suzhen, the top scholar in the female imperial envoy, Zhang Cheng broke out in a cold sweat. If Feng Suzhen were to be chosen as a son-in-law by someone else from the list of successful candidates, he would be in for a lot of trouble. Zhang Cheng, what should I do? I really want to make a ruckus during the wedding night. Feng Suzhen. Chapter 17 Zhang Cheng. They delivered themselves to my door, so it's really not my fault. Brothel by the Bian River. The flute began to play, its melodious sound carrying far and wide. As the women began to play the pipa and guzheng together, Zhang Cheng couldn't help but show his approval. Now he finally understood why the ancients enjoyed brothel's music. Because this is practically the body integration of KTV, nightclubs, and discos. Zhang Cheng. Old Ancestor Zong really knows how to have fun. So elegant. So incredibly elegant. Taking a sip of his drink, Zhang Cheng turned to look at Zhang Dingding. Dao. Give me a reward, little brother. No, you took all my silver notes. How can I reward you? Staring at Zhang Cheng in shock, Zhang Dingding had never seen such a shameless person. Don't you still have gold coins in your purse? Here, let me try them out. Looking intently at Zhang Dingding, Zhang Cheng couldn't help but smile. How did you know, Dao? I still have gold beans. Clutching her pocket, Zhang Dingding looked at Zhang Cheng with a frightened expression. Because this is his private money. Don't worry, in a couple of days, I'll find you a quick and easy way to make money, with no initial investment. He leaned closer to Zhang Dingding and spoke, but Zhang Cheng's last two words made his eyes widen in surprise. Because no matter what kind of business it is, as long as it has no initial investment, it's all net profit. Remember to find me business. Don't lie to me. Looking intently at Zhang Cheng, Zhang Dingding couldn't help but become serious. Don't worry, I never break my promise when it comes to quick money. Looking at Zhang Dingding, Zhang Cheng revealed a meaningful smile. Because this business carries a significant risk. You need someone backing you up. As an adopted son, the one Zhang pushed forward to marry the princess, it was definitely impossible for him. However, Zhang Dingding is different. As the vice minister of the court of imperial sacrifices and the only son of Zhang as long as he doesn't commit treason, this kid can live a very comfortable life. However, there is a problem. The Chai family, which transcends the Song dynasty. You should know that after Emperor Taizu of Song seized the throne from the Chai family, he issued an edict that as long as the Chai family did not rebel, they would be the most powerful noble families. But Zhang Cheng wasn't worried about this at all. After all, he wasn't surnamed Zhao. Zhang Cheng, I will take care of those whom your Zhao family dares not manage, and I will kill those whom your Zhao family dares not kill. I have the Emperor's special permission to execute first and report later. Jade Emperor, bastards. Are you the ones who stole all the girls? A slightly short man kicked open the door and roared. Behind him were several other people in the same situation. Blinking blankly, Zhang Cheng turned his head and asked, Your friend? No, I don't know them. Looking at Zhang Cheng with a puzzled expression, Zhang Dingding also stared wide-eyed with some hesitation. Oh dear sir, I already told you, our girls have already been booked. He rushed forward to explain, and the madam began to speak with a wronged expression. Upon hearing the madam's words, Zhang Cheng stood up and asked, No, what are they? How dare you speak to us like that? Don't you know we are Imperial Academy students specially granted permission by your majesty? Looking at Zhang Cheng, the short man at the head of the group raised his head and roared angrily. Not Song people? Squinting, Zhang Cheng seemed to have already guessed the other party's identity. Those who were granted special permission by Emperor Renzong of Song to enter the Imperial Academy were undoubtedly from foreign lands. And just now, the other party's speech and accent. It's clear they're from Japan. Thinking of this, a smile appeared on Zhang Cheng's face. Everyone, I'm so sorry. I actually did such a thing. I'm really so sorry. Come in and let's talk. After saying this, Zhang Cheng told the girls to leave first, and then gestured for the madam to leave. Hey, where did the pretty girl go? Looking at Zhang Cheng with confusion, the leader was about to say something when a roar rang out. Younger male cousin, close the door. Here you are, cousin. Rushing forward quickly, Situ Yaozu immediately closed the door securely and reinforced it as well. Snap! Pressing his index finger, Zhang Cheng pulled out a folding stool from behind him and sat down, saying, Are you all tired of living? How dare you cause trouble here? Do you know who I am? Who are you? Looking at Zhang Cheng with an expression that resembled a monkey wearing a crown, a woku, a type of local dialect, asked, My father, Zhang Upon hearing Ba Qi's words, Zhang Cheng couldn't help but roar. Zhang Upon hearing this name, the woku were all stunned, because they seemed to have vaguely heard the name somewhere before. Wait, isn't that my dad? Staring at Zhang Cheng in astonishment, Zhang Dingding was completely dumbfounded, because he actually saw in Zhang Cheng the way he used to shout, My father Zhang How arrogant! I don't know, Dao, what are your plans for excellency? Looking at Zhang Cheng with slight worry, Woku, the leader, seemed to have realized that he had bitten off more than he could chew. The girl we just picked has already been scared away by you. What are we going to do about this? If it's less than 3,000 taels, I'll let you know what's going on. There's an old saying in the Song dynasty, those who seek things are heroes. Standing up, Zhang Cheng picked up the folding stool behind him. You bastard! How dare you extort us? Life Qi looked at Zhang Cheng, and just as Woku stepped forward and opened his mouth, a clear voice rang out. Duong! Holding a folding stool, Zhang Cheng grinned menacingly and said, If you don't pay, I'll sell you all. Puff! He coughed up blood and flew backward, immediately collapsing to the ground. Shocked by what she saw, Zhang Dingding already knew what was going to happen next. Just then, Zhang Chang, wielding what is considered the foremost of the 7 great weapons of the common people, charged forward like a tiger. Standing at the doorway, Situ Yaozu glanced at his treasured sword, then silently hid it away, because compared to a folding stool, his sword really can't knock someone down with a single blow. "Pa! What kind of class do you think you are? Trying to steal my people?" With a look of disdain, Zhang Chang beckoned to his son. "Ding ding! Come here, brother. Why don't you put down your weapon first?" Looking at the blood-stained folding stool, Zhang Ding became frightened. Click! Zhang Chang reopened the folding stool, sat down elegantly, and lifted his long robe. "Go find someone to come over. Tonight, we'll rip out their tongues and send them to the northwest." "Cousin, are you serious? They're tribute students from the Imperial Academy." Situ Yaozu stared at Zhang Chang in shock, completely taken aback. With so many people at the Imperial Academy, who would have thought that if only 1 or 2 were missing Dao? Looking intently at Situ Yaozu, Zhang Chang couldn't help but rub his chin. "Remember, the person must be given to the Chai Family Trading Company, and the price must not be less than 5 taels of silver. This isn't just 1 or 2, it's more than 10. You're really selling them." Staring at Zhang Chang in astonishment, Zhang Ding was also dumbfounded. Since Zhang Chang even mentioned Chai Family Trading Company, isn't this clearly an attempt to find a scapegoat? Or do you think I'm joking? Zhang Chang lit a cigarette and exhaled a thick cloud of smoke. With the Chai family as guarantor, Bao Haizi wouldn't dare to investigate, so you can rest assured. Upon hearing Zhang Cheng's words, both Zhang Ding and Situ Yaozu smiled. That's right, with the Chai family backing them up. Even if Bao Zheng came, he would be helpless. Chai family yawned. Is it autumn already? After leaving brothel, Zhang Chang returned the blood-stained folding stool to the exchange space, because we'll need to use this weapon again next time. It's a pity he can't attend court. Otherwise, with his folding stool in hand, who among the entire court, except for General Di Qing, could defeat him? Minister Wenwu, Your Majesty, this person must be forbidden from attending court. Emperor Renzong of Song. Chapter 18. If you're not ruthless, you can't stand firm. Kaifeng Prefecture, Prison. Judging that it was about time, Bai Yutong surveyed the cell, then skillfully unlocked it. But just as she gracefully walked out, she slowly took out a face towel and wrapped it around her face. Just as Bai Yutong was planning to stroll around the prince's mansion that evening, dozens of figures suddenly appeared on both sides, holding torches that illuminated the alley. Staring in disbelief at this scene, Bai Yutong blinked involuntarily. What's going on here? She was just leaving the prison as usual. What's going on today? Bai Yutong, you've committed a crime. Pointing angrily at Bai Yutong, Zhang Chang stepped out from the crowd. Looking at Zhang Chang in front of him, Bai Yutong couldn't help but be taken aback. No, have you forgotten that we went to the Grand Tutor's mansion together back then? Ahem, ahem, ahem. Stop talking nonsense. I, Zhang, am destined to be the son-in-law of the emperor. How could I possibly do such a thing with you? Everyone, don't you agree? Turning to look at the runners around him, Zhang Chang quickly whispered, the money will be doubled later. Master Zhang is right. How could Master Zhang Yang be that kind of person? The money from Grand Tutor Pang's residence was clearly taken by Marquis of Anil. Don't you dare slander my Master Zhang Yang. As the runners nearby began to shout sternly, Bai Yutong couldn't help but raise his finger and point at Dao. Me! Shut up. You only have 2 choices now. Either obediently return to the Kaifeng Prefecture prison, or sign a contract to work for me for a year, earning 100 taels of silver per month, with 1 day off every 7 days. Just as Zhang Chang stated his conditions, Bai Yutong stood there stunned and exclaimed, I choose option 2. No. Don't you want to think about it? Looking at Bai Yutong with curiosity, Zhang Chang couldn't help but ask, what's there to consider? I'm tired of living in Kaifeng Prefecture anyway. Pulling off his mask, Bai Yutong stepped forward and said, if I'm with you, then the Juk sword. The Juk sword is yours to wield. Upon hearing Bai Yutong's words, Zhang Chang couldn't help but cover his face. He thought he had the chi of kings and overlords. But little did he know, the other person was just after his precious sword. Zhan Zhao. I'll say it again, that's my Juk sword. Come, everyone, please accept your rewards. We'll need your help in the future. Upon arriving in front of Runner, Zhang Chang skillfully pulled out a silver note. Brother, you have some connections in Kaifeng Prefecture. Looking at Zhang Cheng with surprise, Zhang Dingding's face showed a look of astonishment. They were originally in brothel, but when the runner from Kaifeng Prefecture learned of the incident, they rushed over immediately. But when they met, they realized they were teachers. As for those who were robbed, they were fooled by Zhang Cheng offering them cigarettes upon meeting. The most important thing now is to find the Chai family and then pack up these woku and send them away. How much money you can make is not important. What's important is accumulating experience. As for whether the Chai family will think they've encountered a big fool, that's none of Zhang Cheng's concern. After all he's doing is using someone else's name to intimidate others. If anything happens in the future, once Bao Zheng investigates, he'll definitely target the Chai family first. Zhang Cheng. So what if I'm a tribute student of the Imperial Academy? I have the Chai family behind me. Chai family. That's it, he makes the money, but I'll take the blame. Watching the runners leave satisfied, Bai Yutong asked curiously, "You brought me out. Aren't you afraid Zhan Zhao will cause you trouble? You don't have any cases in Kaifeng Prefecture. Do you think I don't know Dao?" Looking at Bai Yutong beside him, Zhang Cheng felt for the first time that this woman was intelligent. Because she moved in by herself and stayed for almost half a month, no one noticed. You should know that Dao is Bao Zheng's Kaifeng Prefecture. You're quite clever. Teasing Zhang Cheng, Bai Yutong gripped the precious sword in his hand and exclaimed, "This sword is mine, cousin. That's a legendary sword." Looking at Bai Yutong in surprise, Situ Yaozu couldn't help but be astonished. But looking at Situ Yaozu, Zhang Cheng said, "Don't be afraid, younger male cousin. I have even better ones here." After saying this, Zhang Cheng handed over a boning knife. "Use this. It's made of high-quality steel. It's good for cutting bones, and also for being a person. But I'm using swordsmanship." Situ Yaozu was dumbfounded as she stared at the boning knife in her hand, because he couldn't understand where his cousin had pulled out the boning knife. That's not important. What's important is being a good person. Zhang Cheng stared intently at Situ Yaozu, his face full of seriousness. Back when he was in Florida, he dared to rob Snakehead with just a brick in hand, and he even dared to rob the Federal Reserve with a boning knife. The Federal Reserve. Oh, what a rip-off. Zhang Dingding found several artists specializing in dragon tattooing and tiger painting, a craft unique to the Northern Song dynasty, and thus began a business with no initial investment. After working for a long time, looking at Woku, who was no longer able to speak, Zhang Cheng said with satisfaction, "Not bad. You guys have good skills." No. It's all thanks to this gentleman's excellent teaching." Looking at Zhang Cheng with a broad smile, Niu Er couldn't help but explain, because they also knew Zhang Dingding. After all, they all made a living on the streets. And who didn't know Dao? This playboy who called out, "My father Zhang Er." What Niu Er never expected was that one day they would actually have to deal with such a young master. "Here, take this silver ingot. I never mistreat my fellow citizens." Zhang Cheng patted Niu Er on the shoulder and smiled. "Because artisans like this are 1 in 1,000. My lord, I used to be a pig castrator. If you ever need anything in the future, just come to me." With a proud pat on the shoulder and a broad smile, Niu Er began to explain. "Oh, so you're a pig castrator? Why don't you give me a demonstration?" Looking at Niu Er with surprise, Zhang Cheng couldn't help but be astonished. "You should know, casting pigs is a really good skill. There are no pigs here." Looking around, Niu Er's face showed confusion, and his brothers beside him were also dumbfounded. "Isn't that right?" Pointing to Woku, who was wailing in the distance, Zhang Cheng smiled. "That's a person, my husband." Staring in astonishment at Zhang Cheng, Niu Er's face was covered in cold sweat. He had heard that the young masters of the Great Song dynasty were good at having fun, but he never expected them to be this good at it. "Why don't you just treat them like human beings?" Looking intently at Niu Er, Zhang Cheng squinted and said, "In the future, I will introduce you to more business, and this batch of goods is a gift for the Chai family." Suddenly looking at Zhang Cheng, Niu Er immediately swallowed hard and said, "Husband, I understand." After saying this, Niu Er waved his hand, and several men with dragon and tiger tattoos immediately grabbed one of the Woku. A short while later, a shrill sound came from the courtyard, and Situ Yaozu walked out, her face covered in cold sweat. "No, what's going on in there? Why are you sweating so much in the middle of summer?" Looking at Situ Yaozu, Zhang Dingding asked, somewhat puzzled. "Go in and see for yourself." Instead of answering Zhang Dingding, Situ Yaozu wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. After Zhang Dingding went in for a quick look, she immediately ran out, her face pale, and exclaimed, "You were right to come out." Half an hour later, Zhang Cheng came out with a calm and collected expression. "It's time to go find the Chai family. We can't afford to delay anything like this." "Brother, you're too cruel." Staring at Zhang Cheng in shock, Zhang Dingding and Situ Yaozu both swallowed hard. In this imperial court, if you're not ruthless, you can't stand firm. If you want to stay in power, you have to be ruthless. Understand? Looking at Zhang Dingding and Situ Yaozu, Zhang Cheng's eyes gleamed. The Northern Song dynasty was already weak enough. If it couldn't be more ruthless, how could it possibly recover the 16 prefectures of Yan and Yun in the future? Could it really rely on its cheap father-in-law, Emperor Renzong of Song? Sacrifice is necessary for a common goal, especially when it's not one's own people who are being sacrificed. Chapter 19 Chai Weni. You're quite interesting. Tokyo, Bian River. The small boat moved forward and stopped. Looking around impatiently, Chai Weni, the son of the little Shang king, said with a look of disgust, "You mean that person asked me to meet here?" "That's right, Your Highness." Looking at Chai Weni with fear, the butler beside her quickly explained, "Humph, I'd like to see what he's planning. If he's trying to fool me, then let's see how I deal with him." As Life Chi stepped into the small boat, Chai Weni became uncontrollably violent. But as soon as Chai Weni entered the small boat, Nyo Air next to him began rowing. Watching the small boat leisurely depart, the butler stood frozen in place, for he hadn't even boarded the boat yet. Your Highness, I haven't boarded the ship yet. Your Highness, what will this old servant do if you leave?" He shouted and ran forward frantically. Even the butler was sweating profusely, because if anything happens to the crown prince, he will lose his life. "Stop chasing them. Come and have something to eat. They'll be back soon." Just as the steward was looking at the Bian River, preparing to jump in, a sound came from the roadside beside him. Turning his head, the butler looked at a table where a copper-hot pot was emitting a rich aroma. Swallowing hard, the butler glanced behind him, then resolutely walked towards the small table. "Hey buddy, what's your name?" Looking at the butler in front of him, Situ Yaozu asked. "I am the Crown Prince's steward, Chai Wu." Looking intently at Situ Yaozu, Chai Wu asked, "When will my young master return?" "Don't worry. Once things are settled, your young master will be back." Situ Yaozu handed over a bottle of vodka and said, "Here, have a couple of sips. You can't eat mutton without drinking." Smelling the copper pot, Chai Wu's face was full of drool. "This smells so good. Even better than our little Shang royal palace." "Of course. My cousin said you can't find these ingredients anywhere else in the world." Pointing to the items on the table, Situ Yaozu began to explain. After hearing this, Chai Wu was pleasantly surprised and asked, "So, your cousin is looking for my young master because he wants to start a restaurant business?" "No, it's human teeth." Looking at Chai Wu with a broad smile, Situ Yaozu couldn't help but raise her eyebrows. If Zhang Cheng had said he wanted to become a human dentist when he first arrived in Kaifeng, Situ Yaozu would absolutely not have agreed. Having participated in the martial arts examination and witnessed the darkness behind the prosperity, Situ Yaozu believes that the question, "Are kings and generals born with a special destiny?" is a question. Situ Yaozu, are kings and nobles born with a special destiny? What? Human teeth. Staring in astonishment at Situ Yaozu, Chai Wu was completely dumbfounded. "Because you brought out so many unfamiliar delicacies, and then you told him they were human teeth. This is like walking into a restaurant and finding out it's a foot massage parlor. Isn't that absurd?" On the light, floating boat, Chai Weni sat at the table with an embarrassed expression, saying, "Brother, is it really necessary to act like this when we first meet?" "It is precisely because this is our first meeting that I treat the crown prince with such courtesy." Facing Chai Weni, Zhang Cheng lit the cigar he was smoking and handed it to her. Looking at the cigar in his hand, Chai Weni couldn't help but turn his head and ask, "What's this?" Cigars symbolize the friendship of collaborators. With a broad smile, Zhang Cheng began to explain. After hearing Zhang Cheng's words, Chai Weni awkwardly replied, "We can talk about cooperation, but first, can you make him put down his sword?" "All right. Bai Yutong, stop threatening my young master. He's timid and can't be easily frightened." With a broad smile, Zhang Cheng began to explain. Upon hearing Zhang Cheng's words, Bai Yutong, his face frosty, sheathed his sword and left. Seeing that Bai Yutong was not there, Chai Weni slammed his fist on the table and roared, "How dare you threaten me, the young master? Do you know who I am?" "Of course I know, your highness, Prince Chai Weni." Looking calmly at Chai Weni, Zhang Cheng put the cigar in his mouth. "Call." As he exhaled thick fog, Zhang Cheng couldn't help but recall Dao. "Since I've already asked you to do something, do you think I wouldn't be on guard at all?" Following Zhang Cheng's movements, Chai Weni puffed on his cigar, his eyes gleaming. "Hey, this thing's pretty good." Zhang Cheng stared at Chai Weni with a twitching mouth, speechless. Couldn't this guy at least act a little smarter? He's acting like a spoiled brat. Zhang Cheng, wait. This guy seems to be a spoiled brat, right? I quite like this thing. As long as you tell me where you're coming from, I, the young master, can spare your life. Looking at Zhang Cheng, Chai Weni's eyes flashed with greed. These are cigars made overseas, and only my people can get them. Looking at Chai Weni, Zhang Cheng handed over a piece of paper. "There's a contract on this. Sign it, and I'll give you 40% of the profits. In the future, I'll also offer you many treasures that the Song dynasty doesn't have." Looking at Chai Weni with a broad smile, Zhang Cheng squinted and spoke. 40%? That won't do. I was just threatened with a sword by your men, and just based on my name, Chai Weni, you have to give me at least 70%. Looking intently at Zhang Cheng, Chai Weni glanced at the items on the table and quickly became serious. Looking at Chai Weni, Zhang Cheng rubbed his chin. Because this crown prince doesn't seem to be a very proper fool. That sword belongs to Zhan Zhao, doesn't it? You have a good relationship with Kaifeng Prefecture. Looking at Zhang Cheng with curiosity, Chai Weni laughed. Looking at Chai Weni, Zhang Cheng realized he had underestimated the ancients. After all, even if Chai Weni is useless, he is still the crown prince of the Lesser Shang dynasty. How could he be a fool? That's right. I have a good relationship with Kaifeng Prefecture. And that sword is also a token of my trust. Looking at Chai Weni with a broad smile, Zhang Cheng didn't say much. Because some things, if you say too much, it becomes a cover-up, so it's better to let people guess. Zhan Zhao, wait. Am I now a tiger skin? What do you want to talk to me about? A show of force won't work. After all, in the Song dynasty, no one dares to kill me. Looking intently at Zhang Cheng, Chai Weni smiled. Killing you is certainly impossible, but poisoning you is another matter. With a broad smile, Zhang Cheng rested his chin on his hand, staring at Chai Weni with a teasing expression. Huh? What did you say? With chocolate chips in her mouth, Chai Weni froze on the spot for the next second. What you consumed was the three-corpse brain god goo. Once this substance enters the brain, it will turn into worms. Without an antidote, you will go insane and die. As he spoke, Zhang Cheng also explained the dangers of the three-corpse brain god goo to Chai Weni. Looking at Zhang Cheng speechlessly, Chai Weni picked her nose and asked, "Anything else? Aren't you afraid?" Looking at Chai Weni with curiosity, Zhang Cheng asked with some surprise, "If you want to kill me, why bother with all this?" Looking calmly at Zhang Cheng, Chai Weni sized him up. "I remember now. You're the unlucky prince consort who's going to marry the princess soon, aren't you?" Zhang Cheng looked at Chai Weni with a twitching mouth. He really wanted to call Bai Yutong outside the door, but after thinking about it, he held back. After all, if Bai Yutong really gets in, then Chai Weni will be gone. What do you want to do by using the name of my Chai family? Why don't we be honest with each other? Looking at Zhang Cheng, Chai Weni felt that this person was different from those who followed the powerful. Because there was something called ambition in this person's eyes. Do some small business, make some money, and incidentally climb the ranks of the imperial court. Looking at Chai Weni, Zhang Cheng also smiled. So, you're trying to ride on the coattails of my Chai family. Looking intently at Zhang Cheng, Chai Weni pondered for a long time, then narrowed her eyes and said, "You're interesting." Chapter 20 Zhan Zhao. Why are you checking me? The stars hang high in the sky, and the clear water flows gently. The small boat slowly reached the shore. Chai Weni, cigar in hand, came downstairs and roared angrily, Chai Wu, where the hell have you been?" "Your Highness, I'm here." Shouting loudly, Chai Wu immediately ran forward. Looking at Chai Wu, Chai Weni couldn't help but shout angrily, "If you lose this prince again next time, I'll demote you to the estate." "I dare not do it again, Your Highness." Looking at Chai Weni with a wronged expression, Chai Wu quickly began to explain. After Chai Wenyi boarded the sedan chair, she looked at Zhang Chang with a meaningful expression. Although the Chai family enjoyed great favor from the emperor in the Song dynasty, they had no rights whatsoever, because the officials in the court completely regarded the Chai family as a jinx. Little King Shang and Chai Wenyi were well aware of the Zhao family's plans. But in order to ensure the survival of the Chai family, Chai Wenyi had no choice but to do those outrageous things. Today, Chai Wenyi encountered Zhang Chang, who took the initiative to approach him. He originally planned to pretend to be a playboy, but he found that the other party was just like him, a troublesome character. How did the chat go, cousin? Looking at Zhang Chang with curiosity, Situ Yaozu asked. That young master is no ordinary person. With a broad smile, Zhang Chang tossed his cigar onto the ground and crushed it. The Chai family is a big target. Although we are not afraid of Minister Bao, some things are still too dangerous if we cooperate with them. Looking at Zhang Chang, Situ Yaozu immediately became serious. What's there to be afraid of? Even if the sky falls, the Chai family will still hold it up. Besides, the interests of the human yak are not as simple as they seem on the surface. Looking at Situ Yaozu, Zhang Chang couldn't help but squint his eyes. How much is a person worth? This is a question worth considering. During the Song dynasty, a free contract slave was hard to find, as it was something only a large family could afford. But Zhang Chang is different. He operates on a low-profit, high-volume model. 10 taels of silver is too expensive, how about 5 taels? Or even more, 2 taels of silver, you can leave 2 at the door. By leveraging the Chai family's maritime trade routes, he could easily plunder people from Wado and South Asia, fully utilizing the labor shortage in the populace and laying the groundwork for future endeavors. But rebelling is not a simple matter, even if the target of his rebellion is his cheap father-in-law. Anyone who can be won over will be put on the chessboard. If there's anyone in the Song dynasty who's most unhappy, without a doubt, it's the Chai family. Expecting the Chai family to be loyal to the Song dynasty is like expecting the Liao dynasty to return the 16 prefectures of Yan and Yun. 3 days later, the Imperial Academy and Honglu Temple discovered something was wrong. More than 10 tribute students from Japan had disappeared. Upon encountering this situation, they immediately reported it to the Kaifeng prefecture. Faced with this situation, Zhan Zhao, as the Imperial Cat, naturally appeared. However, after careful investigation, Zhan Zhao discovered something. The investigation was targeting him, because he was the only one who took Runner out that day. The thought that there were absolutely no records within Kaifeng Prefecture sent a chill down Zhan Zhao's spine. Just then, a runner approached Zhan Zhao and said, "Guard Zhan, I have something to say." "You say." Looking intently at the runner, Zhan Zhao couldn't help but become serious. It's said that Chai family's business has transported quite a few people out in the past few days. After giving Zhan Zhao some pointers, Runner couldn't help but become serious. Upon hearing the name Chai Family Trading Company, Zhan Zhao was completely stunned, because it's more dangerous to be investigated by the Chai family than to be investigated by yourself, because that's a get-out-of-jail-free card. Thinking of this, Zhan Zhao quickly reported the results to Bao Zheng. Upon learning that the missing Woku scholars were actually connected to the Chai family, Bao Zheng's face darkened. "My lord, this matter could become very difficult to handle if it involves the Chai family." Looking at Bao Zheng, Gong Sun Su immediately became serious. "If you want to be an official in the Song dynasty, there's one thing you absolutely must know. That means you can criticize the emperor, but you absolutely cannot criticize the Chai family. The emperor may be benevolent and might not necessarily target you, but the Chai family is definitely going to get you. No, this matter involves the Imperial Academy. I must personally report to your majesty." Looking intently at Gong Sun Su, Bao Zheng's temper flared up, and he immediately went to the palace. In the back garden, Emperor Renzong was enjoying a peaceful moment with Consort Pang. But at that moment, Eunuch suddenly spoke up. "Your Majesty, Minister Bao requests an audience." "Bao Zheng? What's he doing here again? Has anything major happened in the capital today?" Upon inquiring of Eunuch, Emperor Renzong quickly spoke up as well. "More than 10 students who were tribute students at the Imperial Academy have gone missing, and they're still missing." Upon hearing Emperor Renzong's question, Eunuch recounted the events of the past few days. Who is involved? Turning to look at Eunuch beside him, Emperor Renzong knew that if Eunuch didn't have a powerful background, Bao Zheng definitely wouldn't have come looking for him. Chai family. With a twitching smile, Eunuch stared at Emperor Renzong, speechless. Tell Minister Bao that I caught a cold and then disappeared. With that, Emperor Renzong grabbed Consort Peng's hand and ran away. Because of the ancestral teachings, the Chai family must not be touched. But Bao Zheng had a terrible temper, so he was really wrong to be emperor. It's just a dozen or so woku. How could he possibly issue a decree personally ordering the Chai family to bring them back? Inside the palace, after waiting for a long time, Bao Zheng gradually sensed that something was amiss. Just then, eunuch came out and said with a smile, "I'm sorry, Minister Bao, your Majesty has caught a cold and is not fit to see anyone." Just caught a cold? Bao Zheng was dumbfounded after hearing eunuch's words. Because it's a sunny day, why would you catch a cold? Realizing that Emperor Renzong was avoiding him, Bao Zheng bowed and said, "Your subject understands." Immediately after Bao Zheng left, Emperor Renzong sent people to the Imperial Academy and Honglu Temple to silence them. After all, let them handle Woku's disappearance internally. Just as Emperor Renzong pulled off his surprise attack, Bao Zheng was dumbfounded in Kaifeng Prefecture because there was no one left to report the crime. The next day, upon learning of this from Runner, Zhang Chang couldn't help but sigh. Because the Chai family is truly hated by everyone, even Emperor Renzong is afraid of them. Chai Wenyi, isn't this something you started? Zhang Chang, is that me? After investigating the case and examining himself, Zhang Zhao felt there was definitely something wrong. So he planned to investigate on his own. After several visits, he discovered that this group of Woku Gongxing had actually interacted with someone. Kaifeng, inside a tea house, Zhang Chang looked at Zhang Zhao with a puzzled expression. "Wait, what do you want with me? I've already finished my studies." Looking at Zhang Chang, Zhang Zhao said with a serious expression, "Those Woku Gongxing disappeared after meeting you. So what? Why aren't you going to the Chai family? Why are you coming to me?" Looking at Zhang Zhao with a broad smile, Zhang Chang smiled back. "I think this matter is definitely related to you." Looking intently at Zhang Chang, Zhang Zhao couldn't help but become serious. "But you have no proof, Guard Zhan. Besides, my father is Zhang Standing up, Zhang Chang left with a broad laugh, completely ignoring Zhang Zhao's sharp gaze. Just as he said, Zhang Zhao had no evidence, and those Woku had long been sent to the Northwest Chinese National Army as slaves. Humming a little tune, Zhang Chang walked forward with his hands behind his back. Because the days to come are sure to be very interesting. It's not scary to have the darkest spot under your own nose. What's scary is knowing that Dao is in the darkest spot, but not being able to find a way to solve it. The first major open conspiracy in the Northern Song dynasty. Chai family takes the blame. I had kidney stones last year when I removed the golden core, but unexpectedly, bladder stones came first. In the last few days, I will have surgery as soon as possible. Please trust the executive director's abilities.